Okay. So tonight, we're looking at the neck again. When we are born, pretty much our sole purpose is to learn to lift this thing off the ground, right? Our head. And we go through some movements in order to lift this heavy thing. And if you've had children or you've seen children, the head can be pretty big, especially when they start to try to ambulate around the world. So we're going to kind of keep these in mind, this kind of like developmental movement as we go through the class today, because a lot of what allows us to lift the head is kind of creating stability in the shoulders and creating what we've been working on for a while now, is that intra-abdominal pressure that is created by using the diaphragm, so breath, which helps to create core strength. So as we're going through the movements and you're wondering what my inspiration is, it's like babies learning to move and carry around the big head. So we're going to start. Take the blanket, have your strap close by at the top or where you'll be able to grab it. And either your block or your tennis balls or therapy balls. I'm going to start with the hips on the floor. The blanket's going to hit between, so about mid-low back. So below the rib cage, but not touching the top of the hips. So you're going to roll down onto your blanket. So your head is on the blanket. Then you can either take your block or your little fun rollers and place them in that space that feels really good. So that suboccipital space, which is where the hairline of your head usually is, or where you can think of that pivot point on the back of your head. So position it in a place that feels good. Start with your knees bent. And your hips should be comfortably on the floor. So if you feel like you're too far or the blanket's too far down your lower back, just adjust so that you can find the blanket or the place that it feels really good. And when it's there, tuck your chin towards your neck. So take it towards the front of your neck and then draw it up even more as if you're taking it towards your chin. So creating lots of length in the back of your neck. You can separate your feet a little wider than hip distance apart and just allow your knees to knock in towards each other. And bring the heels of your hands so they rest on the outside of your rib cage and your fingers resting on the front of your rib cage. So your chin is tucked, drawing up towards your throat. Use your hands to draw the front of the rib cage down slightly towards the tops of your hips. And I'm just going to start by taking a few breaths into the diaphragm. So when you inhale, you'll feel the expansion of your rib cage out towards the heels of your hands, so on the sides of your body. And as you exhale, you feel that soften and release away from your heels of your hands. Notice if you have any tension on the front of your neck. Notice your tendency, a lot of us practice yoga, and notice your tendency to move straight to Ujjayi breath. And I'm going to ask you to resist using Ujjayi today. And instead, try to keep the breath really quiet. So the throat muscles relaxed, the neck muscles relaxed. You want to feel most of that breath in your diaphragm. So very little movement in your upper chest, if none at all. A lot of times we have neck and shoulder pain because we actually use these muscles of the neck to breathe. And that should only be used in times of running from bears, and we just don't do that anymore. So try to keep the front of the muscle or the front of the neck muscles, the upper chest muscles relaxed. And bring the elbows beside your body and bring the hands off your ribs. Fingers pointing up towards the sky, and then just allow the hands to fall back towards the floor. So now you're resting with your elbows close to your ribs. If you can, if the forearms will rest on the floor, allow them to rest on the floor. Keep your chin tucked up towards your throat. Front of the ribs drawing down and in, so you can feel with the blanket there, the backs of your rib cage pressing towards the blanket. So keep that awareness, back of the rib cage pressing towards the blanket, front of the ribs down and in, and stretch your arms up over your head. If you can keep your arms on the floor the whole time, awesome. If not, let them come off the floor when they need to. We're just gonna do this kind of back and forth movement. So as you bring the elbows towards your waist, your elbows bend. And as you bring the arms up beside your ears, your elbows straighten. So doing this with, if you can, that slow, quiet breath. You don't necessarily have to match the breath to any kind of movement. Concentrate more on trying to find that diaphragmatic breathing of keeping the front of the rib cage drawing down and in so the core is engaged, keeping the back of the rib cage pressing down towards the blanket. Good. Bring the elbows down beside the body. And then again, lift the forearms off the floor and stretch the arms above the shoulders. So you want the arms to be wide enough that if you were to let go, your shoulder blades would rest on either side of your blanket. So allow that to happen. So the hands might be slightly wider than shoulder width apart. And then with your right hand, reach your fingertips off the floor, allowing the shoulder blade to come off the blanket, really stretching it. And then as you exhale, as if you're trying to wrap your shoulder blade around the blanket. So we'll do this 3 more times on this side. So reach the fingertips, allow the shoulder blade to slide on the outside of the rib cage. And then as you relax, allow the shoulder blade to wrap around the blanket. 1 more time, reach. And as you exhale, relax it. And then switch position so that the shoulder blades rest on either side of the blanket. And then reach the other hand up towards the sky, allowing the shoulder blade to wrap around the outside of the rib cage, and then down. So the ability, keep going, the ability to move the shoulder blades and that thoracic region of the spine is directly linked to your neck. And if you can imagine when babies first start to move their arms, are often what they move while they're lying on their back. Release both arms down. Bring your hands to rest back on your rib cage. Separate your feet or separate your knees and walk your feet hip distance apart. Remove whatever prop you have under your head and let your head move back to the blanket. So it's still supported by the blanket. Chin drawing towards the front of your throat. Relax the muscles of the front of your neck. Press the back of the rib cage towards the blanket, so lower ribs drawing down and in. As you inhale, fill up your rib cage out to the sides. And then 1 foot at a time, lift your knees off the ground. Bring your pinkies to rest on the outside of your thighs with your elbows bent and an opening across the chest. So we've created an opening across the chest. Notice if the front of your ribs start to flare and push the back of the rib cage towards the floor. Notice if your chin starts to jut forward and draw it in. Take 3 diaphragmatic breaths, trying to keep it quiet and slow. Feeling the breath in the lower rib cage and minimal movement of the breath in the upper rib cage and neck. So we're starting to, babies do some interesting things on their back. and it's to start to create that core stability so that they can start to ambulate. On your next inhalation, expand the rib cage out, and then slowly bring your right foot down, and as you exhale, bring your left foot down. Roll to either side and remove the blanket and come flat onto the floor. Now grab your belt. You're going to use your belt to draw across the front of your collarbones. So take the belt as wide as you can. Our arms come to the floor, T to the body, and you'll feel the belt, or if you're using a resistance band, right at the kind of collarbones, where the collarbones and the breastbone kind of meet. Draw the chin towards your throat. Draw the lower ribs towards the floor and the front of the lower ribs towards the hips. Keep a slight curve of your lower back. So your lower back is not pressing into the floor. And then just start to bobble your head side to side. So allowing your head to move side to side. As you're doing this, just kind of noticing the tension on either side. Just becoming aware of it, trying to move slowly. And then bring your right arm up and your left arm down. So now the right side of your belt is kind of pinning down your left or your right collarbone. And it's also going across the left collarbone. Ribs down and in, tuck the chin, let the head drop to your left shoulder, then gaze down at your left shoulder. So you're tucking your chin towards your left collarbone. Then start to lift your head off the floor. Lower the head down, turn it back to center. Turn your head to the left, tuck your chin, gaze towards your left shoulder, and then look down towards the floor beyond your left hand as you lift your head. Release. Twist. One more time, turn your head to the left, tuck your chin towards your left shoulder, start to gaze towards your left hand, and then lift. Lower. Turn your head back to center. Move the belt over your head, release the belt, and bring both arms over your head. Thumbs down, pinky fingers up, straighten your legs long to the ground. Turn the backs of the hands towards the floor, and then lift your right arm straight up above your right shoulder. Gaze up towards your hand. So this is when kids, babies, toddlers start to get curious. And there's a toy over on the left side of your mat. So reach your fingers up towards the floor, lifting the shoulder blade off the floor. Start to turn your head, looking beyond your armpit like there's a toy, and start to reach your right hand over. So you feel that stretch on the right side of your shoulder blade. Lift the hand back up and drop it towards the floor to the right. Reach the right arm back above your shoulder. Start to turn your head. You're looking for the toy. Start to reach your fingers towards the toy. Lift your head. Start to curl up off the floor and then lower back down. So we're building up a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more strength. This time we're going for the toy. So right hand reaches up. Reach even higher, lifting the shoulder blade, start to turn, look like that toy, so interesting. Start to reach fingers, start to lift your head, curling up towards your ribs. Legs stay heavy, keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching, and roll. Let your head turn towards your left shoulder and pause here for a second. And then stack your hands, right hand on top, and bring your forehead to rest on top of your hands. So we know tummy time is good for the babies. This is when we start to learn to lift our head. So the head's really heavy. Start to look down towards the floor. So not at your fingers, but towards the floor below. And then lift the back of your hairline up to lift your head just off your hands. Lower your head back down. Start to draw your chin towards your throat. Start to lift your head. Bring your hands forward. Keep lifting your head. Gaze forward. So curious what's out in front of you. And then start to tuck your chin. Gaze down towards the floor. Gaze towards your chest. Stack your hands. Lower your head. Again. Start to peel, chin towards throat, lift, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. Hands come out in front. Lift. Turn your head to the right. Turn it center. Turn it to the left. So play with this motion a little bit. Keep drawing chin towards throat. As you turn more from that axis atlas, and then the spine kind of trickles up or down. Bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, lifting the chest a little higher. Draw the chin towards the throat, drop the head, drop the shoulders towards the ears, hang, and just kind of wiggle your head side to side, letting go of tension on the back of the neck. And then press down through your elbows. Start to draw the chin up the front of your neck, up towards your throat. Lift your head. Turn your head to the right. So you're getting a little bit more motion in your neck now. Turn it back to center. Turn it to the left. Turn it back to center. Look down towards your chest. Drop your head towards the floor. Let the shoulders sag up towards the ears. Dangle your head. And then again, start to draw the chin up the front of the neck towards the throat to stack your spine. Turn your head to the left. Center. Turn the head to the right. Center. Now we're going to start to move towards getting up. So bring your right hand towards your rib cage. Start to press into your right hand as you rotate your chest towards your right. Bend your right knee out to the side. So like a frog, this is how babies learn to get up. So knee comes towards right wrist. Slide your left shoulder forward or elbow underneath your shoulder. Bring your right hand to the back of your head. So where your hairline is. Start to press your hairline into your hand as you rotate open and look towards the sky. Rotate. Head towards the floor. Reach your elbow between or towards your back thigh. So you're rounding your upper back. Start to reach the elbow forward and then rotate open. Reach the elbow forward, and as if you're drawing a line on the floor, take it back towards your left hip. One more time, reach the elbow forward, take it all the way up and back. Release your right hand towards the floor. Press down. Start to bring your left knee up beside your right. And then sit back on your heels. So coming into child's pose, drop your head towards the floor. Let it hang. Let it dangle. Inhale, roll up to tabletop. Exhale, roll back to child's pose. Yes, you're off of your mat. If you need something under your knees, please do so. Roll up to tabletop. Tuck your toes under, and this time press back and round your upper back. Shift forward back to tabletop. Turn your head to the right. Stick your right hip up and try to look towards your right hip. Come back to center. Round shoulders towards ears, surrounding your upper back as you press back into that kind of child's pose. We could stretch of the back of your spine. Then shift forward back to tabletop. Draw your chin up towards your throat. So lift your head into neutral. Then turn your head to the right and gaze. Push your right hip up as you look towards your right hip. Come back to tabletop. Shift back and come up onto your fingertips. Step your right foot up between your hands. Take your left foot behind you. I'm going to do facing away from you the first time. Walk your hands towards your left knee. So now you're coming into an open position and come up. Again, if you need the blanket under your knees, please, by all means, use it. And then straighten your right leg out to the side. You're going to take your left hand behind your back. If you are able to clasp the fingers with your right hand and hold it, bringing the elbow back, great. If not, just bring it anywhere. You can also use your belt. Drop your head towards your right shoulder. So feeling stretch along the left side of your neck. Bring it back to center. Turn your head to the right and then drop your chin towards the throat. So we're slightly switching up where you feel that stretch. More on the back of your neck. Draw your chin towards the throat to stack the spine. Turn your head to the left and then gaze up. Bring the head back to center. Release the hands to the floor. Turn your right toes towards your left toes. And then thread the needle, your left ear and left shoulder to the ground. Walk your right fingers forward and then start to walk them behind your head as you rotate onto the back of your head. Taking your right arm as far over, perhaps even taking it behind into your left hip. So babies might not do this, but doing a little nerve glides to get some extra movement in the neck. Release your right hand in front of your face. Turn your left toes back as you come up to your hands. And then walk your hands towards your right foot, bringing your hands on either side of your right foot as you come back into that low lunge. Shift forward. So now we're going back into that baby movement. So that deep hip hinge. Crawl your hands forward and start to come onto your right toes as you drag your left leg up and then step your left leg into a low squat. So you're on your toes, heels aren't on the floor. Walk your hands forward, drop your head, push your knees forward as you round your upper back. Lift your head, lift your chest, push your hips back, gaze up. Drop your chin towards your throat, round your upper back, bring the knees forward. Push the hips back, take the knees wide, gaze up. Bend the knees forward, round your upper back. Bring your hands to the floor. Now baby's gonna get up. So drop your heels to the floor, come into that low squat where your belly's resting between your thighs, and then fold forward, letting your head hang. It's coming into a forward fold. Grab your opposite elbow and hang. Let the crown of your head grow heavy, shaking your head no in both directions. So letting go of any tension you've created, and then shake yes. Release the fingertips to the floor. Feet are about hip distance apart. Send the hips back, draw the chin towards your throat. So lengthen the back of your neck as you send the hips back. Gazing straight down, neck is straight. So draw the chin towards the throat. Bring the hands off the floor. And then press all the way up. So now we're in a standing position. Right hand is beside your hip. Turn your head to the right. Let your left shoulder move forward. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Left arm is going to start to swing forward. Right hand glides down the outside of your right thigh. Let the head heavy, let the arm heavy. Dangle the arm a little bit, dangle the head. And then start to draw your shoulder towards your ears as you start to lift back up. Come back to standing. Drop the left shoulder down. Turn the head to the left and gaze up to the left. Take the chin down. Turn the head to the right. Drop the chin towards the chest. Left shoulder rounds forward. Right hand goes down, right leg all the way down. Let the arm grow heavy. Let the head grow heavy. Shake it out. Keep the right shoulder towards the ear as you start to come back up. And then open the chest, open the shoulder. Turn the head to the left and gaze up. Bring the head back to center. Turn the head to center. Right leg stays forward. Step the left leg back. So coming into a little bit shorter Virabhadrasana 1 or Warrior 1. Round your neck towards your chest. Round your upper back. Slide your right hand down your thigh. Let your left arm grow heavy. Let your head grow heavy. Then reach your left arm forward. Head goes with it. Open up. Chest. Elbow bends. Head turns. Reach. Left arm beside your ear. Rotate towards your right thigh. Round forward. Let the head grow heavy. Let the arm go heavy. Reach, left arm forward. Head kind of moves with the arm. So as you rotate open, gaze up. Rotate back one more time. So head grows heavy, arm grows heavy. Shake the arm. Shake the head. Reach the left arm forward. Neck draws in, chin draws in towards the throat. Rotate open. Reach, left arm up. Reach as if you're grabbing out something from the sky. Lift all the way up. Toes turn to face the long edge of your mat. Hands behind your back, clasp. Shrug your shoulders towards your head and take your head towards your shoulder. So create a little bit of a tension in the back of your neck. And then go in the opposite direction. Crown of the head reaches up. Hands reach down. Chin draws in towards your throat. So tuck your chin. Either knees bent or knees straight. Fold forward. Allow, again, the shoulders to fall towards the head as you let the hands fall towards the floor. And then create more space for the neck by drawing shoulders down the back and reaching the crown of the head towards the floor. If you want to move your head to create that sense of heaviness and release, do so. Bring the left hand to rest on your lower back. Bring the right fingertips to the floor. Press the right fingertips into the floor, straightening the elbow. Draw the chin up towards the throat. So stack the spine. And then start to turn the head to the left. Rotate the shoulder up. And then maybe reach left hand up towards the sky. So keep drawing chin towards the throat. The back of the neck stays long, front of the neck stays engaged. Release. Left hand back to the floor. Forward fold. Let it go. Lift up onto both of your fingertips. Turn your toes to face the front edge of your mat as you walk your hands to the front edge of your mat. Drop your back knee to the ground. Bring your right knee beside your left knee. Sit back in child's pose. Let your forehead come to the floor. And move your head a little side to side. Slowly start to stack your spine from your lower back, so rounding all the way up to your spine, letting your head, chin stay on your throat, and then stack it all the way up. Cross, left hand over to right knee. Turn head towards your left shoulder. Bring right hand back and catch your right big toe if you can. So twist. Keep your hands where they are. Start to turn your head, look over your right shoulder. Bring your right hand behind your back. Keep your chin tucked, but start to look up. Decide, can you bring your weight onto your right hand, lift your hips, and then follow the gaze of your eyes to your left thumb. Tuck your chin, lift. Start to walk your hands forward on either side of the front of your mat. Draw your shoulder blades down your back as you come into a cobra pose. Elbows bend, lower all the way down onto your belly. Stretch your arms forward. Take your right hand out slightly. Turn your head and look towards your right hand. So babies also roll from their belly to their backs. So start to keep your gaze on your hand as you lift it up, 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 and flip onto your back. Awesome. Other side. So if you're not on your mat, or if you want to be on your mat, adjust to where you started. So grab your strap again. Take your strap and draw it across the front of your collarbones. Lower ribs drawing down and in, lower back pressing into the floor, legs straight. Start to bobble your head side to side. So just noticing what you feel in your neck. Probably feels a little uneven because we did most of the work on the right. So the next time you turn your head to the left, switch your hands. So, or to the right, you're going to turn your head to the right. So turn your head to the right, right hand comes down, left hand comes up. So now it's like a half a X crossing across your collarbones. Start to turn your head to look down at your shoulder and lift your head off the floor. Lower your head. Turn your head to the left. Allow it to turn back to the right, chin towards throat, looking down at your shoulder, and then lift, looking beyond your right hand. Release head back to the floor. Turn it back to center. Bring the belt over your head, release the belt, bring both arms over your head. Come onto the backs of your hands and reach your left arm straight above your shoulder. So reaching the left shoulder blade off the floor. Start to reach to your right. There's that fun toy again. Your eyes are looking. This time the head doesn't lift. It's more of a stretch of your upper back. Then bring it back to center. Reach the fingertips up. Start to reach over to the right. This time head lifts. Keep reaching left fingertips to the right, feeling that stretch in your upper back, and then roll back. This time we're going for it. Reach fingers up towards the sky. Start to twist to your right. Tuck your chin, lift your head, reach, 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 reach. Legs stay heavy. The work comes from the upper body. Twist. So now you're on your belly. Let your head turn to the right and take a few breaths. And then stack left hand on top of right hand, forehead to the hands. Lower ribs are still in. Keeping a space between your shoulder blades. Look down at the floor below your thumbs and start to pull your chin towards your throat as you lift your head off your hands. Release back down. Start to take your chin towards your throat, lift your head off your hands, and then peel your head up, look forward. Take your chin towards your throat and take your head back down. Start to take your chin towards your throat, peel your head as if you're stacking the vertebrae, bring the hands forward, elbows stay where they are, and just turn the head a little side to side. So you don't have to crank it, you're kind of testing your mobility with the elbows wide, being supported, chest open. Bring your head back to center. Bring your elbows in line with your shoulders. You can bring them closer to your shoulders. You can keep them further forward. Draw your chin towards the throat like you're scraping it down the front of your chest. Let your head hang. Maybe turn it a little side to side, letting tension on the back of your neck go as your chin is towards your throat. And then start to draw your chin up the front of your throat as you stack your vertebrae. Lift your head. Now we have a little bit more room to move our neck, so turn it side to side. Come back to center. One more time, take it down the front of your throat. Let the shoulders sag up towards your ears, let your head hang. This time, turn your head towards your right shoulder and then stack up from the right, looking over your right shoulder. Take it back down, let the chin go over to the left and stack it up. Take it down, bring it back up through center. Bring your left hand towards your rib cage. Start to press into your left hand as you bring your left knee up and out to the side. So we're coming back into that kind of frog position. You might want to position your right shoulder, a little elbow under your shoulder, a little bit more, hand behind your back. Start to press the back of your head into your hand. As you rotate open, gaze up towards the sky. As you rotate closed, reach the elbow forward first. And then as if you're drawing a line on the floor, reach the elbow back towards your back thigh. And then reach it forward and open. Reach it forward and peel it back. So you should feel this little rounding when you take the elbow back and this arching of your upper back and neck area. And bring it all the way up. Bring your hand to the floor. Slide your left knee forward as you come up. Come up onto hands and knees. And press your hips back as if you're going into child's pose. Tuck your toes around your upper back. Shift forward into tabletop. Draw the chin up towards your throat as you stack and bring your spine into neutral. Turn your head to the left. Wag your tail to the left and look to the left. Bring the spine back to neutral. Turn the head down. Tuck your toes, press back around your upper back, taking the shoulders towards your ears to really feeling that rounding of your upper back. And then shift forward, shoulders come down your back, draw the chin towards your throat. So neck is in neutral. Turn your head to the left, wag your tail to the left. Come back to neutral. Sit back, come up onto your fingertips, step your left foot up between your hands. Press up. Take your right foot behind you, so you're opening up wide, and straighten your left leg out to the side. Right hand comes behind your back. If you're able to interlace your fingers, you get more of a stretch, more of a nerve glide. So shoulders down, lower ribs still in. So notice if there's a flare, bring it in. Drop the head towards your left shoulder. You want to feel a stretch down the side of your neck. Lift it up. Turn your head to the left. So turn to the left and then drop your chin towards your left chest. A little different stretch in the scalenes. Draw your chin up as you stack. Turn your head forward and then turn it over to the right shoulder and look up. Look down, bring the head back to neutral. Release. Hands to the floor. Take your right foot towards your left foot, and then you're going to thread the needle. So right shoulder comes to the ground, right ear comes to the ground. Walk your left fingers forward, and then start to walk them behind you as you roll onto the back of your head. So walking first the fingers as far as they can go to the left, and then maybe bring the back of the left hand to the outside of the right hip. Release, left hand to the floor in front of your face. Draw the chin towards the throat as you peel back up, both hands to the floor. Walk your hands towards your left foot as you bend your knee. Hands on either side of the foot, right foot comes back. Start to bend the left knee forward, so you're coming into a deep hip hinge. That hip hinge is so important for movement. So shift forward as far as you can. Hands come forward, crawl them forward, come up onto your left toes, lift your right knee, and then step into that toe squat. Fingers out in front, bring your knees together as you round your forehead towards your knees. So rounding your upper back, shoulders come towards your ears. Open your knees, lift your head, lift your chest, gaze up. Chin tucks towards throat, bend your knee or bring your knees forward, push your fingers around. Open your knees, lift your head, lift your chest. Push fingers down, round. Walk your hands closer towards your feet. Start to take your heels towards the floor as you come into a low squat, heads falling. Fingertips press into the floor. Draw your chin towards your throat to bring your head into neutral as you come spine parallel to the floor. Lift your hands off the floor. Slowly lift all the way up. So feet still slightly wider than shoulder distance apart. Left hand hangs beside your left leg. Turn your head to the left. Drop your chin, and as the chin drops, let right shoulder kind of round forward. Slide left hand down, left thigh, hips shift to the right. Let the head and the arm grow heavy. Hang. Shake the head, shake the arm. Keep the shoulder close to the ear as you slide back up. Chin tucks, neck stacks. Turn your head to the right, look up. Look down, turn your head to the left, drop your chin towards your throat. Let your right shoulder fold forward, slide down. Head, crown of the head leads. Swing your shoulder a little bit, swing your head. Keep your shoulder next to your ear as you roll up. Chin draws up towards the front of your throat. Shoulder relaxes. Turn your head to the right. Gaze up. Turn it forward. Gaze forward. Keep your left leg forward and step your right leg back. Left knee's bent. Left hand on the floor or on the thigh. Start to tuck chin towards throat. Round your upper back to swing forward. Let it drop. Let the head hang. Let the arm hang. Reach your right arm forward. Chin tucks towards chest. So find that nice strong spine. And then roll up. Open. Gaze up towards the sky. Then start to turn towards your left knee. Let the head hang. Let the arm hang. Let it go. And start to reach, right arm forward, top chin towards throat. Stack the neck as you rotate head, heart open towards the sky. Tuck the chin, gaze inside, left leg. Last time, round your upper back. Let the head, let the arm hang. And then reach, arm forward, draw chin towards throat, stack the spine, rotate, chest, head, heart. Reach, right arm straight up towards the sky. Reach to come all the way up. Toes face the long edge of the mat. Clasp your hands behind your back. Again, push the shoulders up towards the ears. Take the back of the head towards the shoulders. So creating tension, and then do the opposite, let it go. Hands beside your hips, pull down, reach to the crown of the head. Clasp the hands the opposite way. Tuck the chin towards the throat. So nice long spine, knees either straight or bent, fold forward. Let the shoulders relax towards the head. Notice the tension that creates. And then lightly lift the shoulders away from the head, creating space in the back of the neck. Dangle the head. Bring the back of the left hand, right hand to the left hand, to the lower back. Right fingertips to the floor. Draw the chin towards the throat as you come up into a neutral spine, spine parallel to the floor. Start to turn head to the left and then chest to the left. You can either keep your hand on your lower back or reach left hand towards the sky. Draw the chin towards the throat. Reach the crown of the head forward. Release, hand towards the floor, head towards the floor. Let it all go. So shaking your head yes, shaking your head no. Fingertips to the floor, press up. Walk your hands towards your left foot as you turn the left foot forward. Drop your right knee to the ground. Bring your left knee beside your right knee, sit back, child's pose, rest your forehead on the floor. So if it feels like your neck is doing a lot of work, that's what we're doing. So hopefully you feel that the front of your neck has been engaged, because that's what we're really looking for. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Draw your chin towards the throat as you stack your lower back, stack your mid back, upper back, and then stack your head over your shoulders. Take your right hand to the outside of the left knee. Bring your left hand behind the back, maybe grabbing your left toe. Turn your head to the right. You can turn your gaze towards your right shoulder. And keep your hands where they are. Lift your head, turn all the way to the left. Maybe take your fingertips to the floor behind you as you start to take your head back even more. Gaze up with your eyes first, maybe nose lifts. Maybe press into your fingertips, lift your hips, and reach right hand up and back as you gaze towards your right thumb. Bring your hand towards your nose, follow the gaze with your eyes, hips down, hands towards the front of your mat. Come into a cobra pose, so drop the hips, shoulders down, lift the head, draw the chin towards the throat, bend the elbows, lower all the way down to the floor. Stretch your arms on either side of your ears. Keep your right hand where it is. Bring your left hand out a little bit. Turn your head to the left. Start to gaze as you lift your hand. Let your head follow and roll back onto your back. So we started where we began. If you're not on the mat, you may want to come onto your mat. Arms out to the side. Press your feet into the floor, lift your hips and move your hips about an inch to the right. Straighten your left leg, bend your right knee towards your left shoulder and twist your knee towards the right knee towards the left. Let your head relax where it's comfortable. So if it's comfortable straight up, keep it there. If you want to let your head fall towards your left shoulder, that's perfectly okay. If you want to reach your head towards your right thumb, do so. Find that original breath. As we come into this final twist, are you able to breathe deep into the diaphragm? Have you noticed that you've reverted back to that ujjayi breath? Can you soften? Can you quiet the breath? Release the right knee. Bring the left arm out to the side, teach the body. Slowly shift back onto your back. Bring both heels in line with your sit bones. Keep your lower back off the floor. Draw your lower ribs down towards your hips. Tuck your chin towards your throat. Make the back of your neck long. Bring your elbows beside your ribs and fingertips pointing up towards the sky, palms facing in. Bring your shoulder blades just slightly closer to the spine. Chin stays tucked. Press through the inner edges of your feet. Lift your hips. Lift your ribs. Or lift the top of your chest towards your chin. Keep pulling the bottom of your rib cage towards your hips. Draw the chin towards your throat. So really finding that nice long neck. Should almost feel like a stretch to the neck at this point. Lower the hips. Move the hips about an inch to the left. Straighten your right leg. Draw your right knee toward or left knee towards your right shoulder and then twist two. Right, a left knee to the right. Left arm reaches behind you. Decide where you want to hold your head. So we're trying to let go of tension. So if it feels better to drop your head towards your right shoulder, do that. You want to just keep the back of the head on the floor, do that. Or if it feels good to let that twist continue as your head looks towards your left shoulder, do that. And move your awareness back to your breath. Noticing how quiet you can make the breath. How low into the diaphragm and a twist can you bring the breath? Release your right hand off of your knee. Bring your head back to center if it's not already there, and bring your hips back to center. One last bridge pose. So heels in line with your sit bones. Hands this time beside your hips. Press your hands down. Tuck your chin, lower ribs down and in, lower back off the floor. Start to press through the inner edges of your feet. Lift your hips. Clasp your hands beneath your hips. Press the fist down. Bring the shoulder blades closer towards the spine. Tuck the chin. Lengthen the back of the neck. Press down through the inner edges of the feet. Lift the hips a little higher. Notice any tension that you're creating in the neck muscles. Can you soften the neck and instead bring them to the hips, the glutes to lift the hips, and the bottom ribs to support the core. Release the hands, release the hips. Release the shoulders. Hands wide, just windshield wiper your knees side to side to let go any remaining tension in your lower back. One at a time, bring your knees in, grab the knees or the shins. Draw your chin towards your throat. Round your head up towards your knees and hug. You want to clasp your hands and kind of use your shins pressing into your wrists to stretch your spine. And then slowly keep holding the knees or shins as you let your knees come towards your chest to slowly release your head to the floor. Let your arms go. Let your legs grow long. Position yourself. Maybe you want to keep your hands open in a T. Maybe you want to try that starfish. So legs wide, arms wide and up. Or maybe traditional, hands down beside your hips, palms up. Do a scan of the body. So our neck can oftentimes be an area of tension, of gripping. We often feel tension along the tops of the shoulders or the upper back. We actually use the muscles on the front of our neck to do all kinds of interesting things that they were not made for, like sit-ups, plank. Sometimes we clench our jaw as a matter of a way to control. So as we bring more of that kind of awareness of how we created initially the strength and the power to lift our head off the floor in a less weight-bearing way, which hopefully you were able to feel that as we move through the different motions tonight. So if you're feeling any remaining tension in your jaw, your neck, just imagine that you're breathing into all those spaces where you do feel tension. And as you exhale, it's softening. Slowly bend your knees. Keep your arms down beside your body as you roll onto your side body and just allow your head to fall towards the floor. And continue the rotation as you bring the top arm forward and using your hands and your forearms, slowly start to press yourself up into a seated position, stacking from the lower back up, one vertebrae at a time. And then that final easeful lift of the head, the chin sitting slightly back, ears above your shoulders, resting your hands gently on your knees. Just pause. Notice any sensation you're feeling. especially in the area of awareness, of attention tonight. And slowly bring your hands to heart center. Bring your thumbs to touch your breastbone as your chin bows down and in. And thank you so much for your time. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste. And slowly lift your head in a way that feels right after all that work.